All right, hello, and welcome to a special edition of the Game Fanatics podcast. And I will tee this off to Greg with a important public service announcement.
All right, everyone. So over the weekend, I was writing a new article, my top 10 favorite female characters. It's kind of a follow-up to an article I wrote in December. Kind of basically my thoughts on gender roles in comics and, as far as characters, creators, perception of, and all that kind of stuff. When I noticed, I had a new comment on the article. The article even now is about 2 months old, so it's kind of gone and gone, but I was like, hey, a new comment. From a user named Billy. No last name, just Billy. But from the intellectual insight and depth I got from this comment, I'm going to call him Billy the Sage. And this is posted February 7th at 8:05 p.m.
God.
So Billy the Sage writes on the comment, start quote, blah, 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 I'm a mangina. That is effectively what you said. Here's the cold hard truth. There's nothing stopping any woman from becoming a comic book artist, from developing her own comic line, from crafting digital comic books, from pitching an idea to already existing comic companies, etc., etc. If this is such an issue, then women are more than capable of creating just about anything they want and don't need you or anyone else to do it for them. And why is it incumbent on everyone else to cater to the needs of women, as opposed to women putting on their big girl panties and failing or succeeding like in every other business in the human history? In the history of history. It is beyond me. Either women are completely capable of making their own decisions and have the skills and intelligence to create their own forms of entertainment which cater to their tasks, or they don't, and it's up to big, strong men to do it for them. End quote. My knee-jerk reaction is to call you an insensitive asshole son of a bitch, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So,
I'm a little confused.
What was his point?
Yeah, he kind of like wavered back and forth there.
Really, basically, first of all, the important part is he called me a mangina, which is the kind of, I guess a feminist apologist, which, whatever,
Yeah,
Girl,
whatever.
But I guess his whole point is saying that women have the same opportunities as men, and they should just go ahead and, if the product is not theirs because women aren't seizing the opportunities. Same thing as men.
It depends on the fields, but continue.
I mean, sure, if everything was created equally, if everything was equal, the dream America,
Yeah.
but, unfortunately, we don't live in that.
Well, if everything was equal, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, there's socioeconomic barriers that are in the way for, people of women, race, socioeconomic economic brackets and all that, and there are things that are just in the way of someone from, a kid in Harlem, with a single mom is not going to have the same opportunities as a who went to Princeton with a full grad on his parents' money. The opportunities are just not the same. So it's ignorant and naive point of view to saying, oh, it's not there just because, they're not doing it. That's not the case, not from what I've seen. There are plenty I've seen when we were trying to break into it, but, it really, comics and like a lot of media still are a man's game. I mean, it totally is. I mean, again, some publishers are getting better, like, Marvel and Image and all that. You have other ones that are, not making steps. But it is still largely a patriarchal industry. So it just seems ignorant to me to say that, why do men have to cater to these women? It's not so much catering is trying to make that an even playing and not discriminating, because that's what's going on right now.
I think with comics, it's a little bit of a strange issue because it seems like, and I'm sure you've seen the various examples of this, of the portrayal of females in comics is not necessarily what a female would want to see.
Right.
It's unrealistic and stupid and nonsensical.
Well,
It's the
that's
same.
basically everywhere.
It's like what's his face? George R. Martin. How he said,
Oh, yeah.
That's like, how do you write female characters? It's like, I just write them like they're just fucking people, you idiots.
Yeah. I always think of women as people. That's
That's the problem. That's the confusion you're having, is that they're people.
Here, one of my favorite quotes is Joss Whedon. Why do you keep writing strong female characters? Because you keep asking me that question.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I don't have hard numbers, but I know there is an increased interest in both genders, but even more percentage-wise in girls and women in comic books recently in the past 5-10 years or so. I mean, the amount that buy comics is up. I mean, it's still a minority, but it is that sector is growing.
Yeah.
And the only way to encourage that and more sales is to produce product and books for that growing sector. Otherwise,
Yeah.
if the product isn't there, they're going to lose interest altogether, and that
And I think a lot of these people who make these comments are thinking, oh, they're going to change Batman. Or not, Batman's a bad example. Because there is,
It's
like, Batgirl.
more like Mighty Number 9 recently, when they hired the female chick who was supposed to be like community manager, and they hired her onto the art team, and then she made like a female version of Mega Man. The internet lost their shit.
Oh, yeah. Like, it shouldn't... I think a lot of people are scared about, like, oh, you're going to take Spider-Man, and it's going to be Spider-Girl, and it's, like, just going to be a gender swap, and you're just going to kill all my favorite characters. But that's not what it would be.
no.
I think most of those guys are fearful because women are just an enigma to them.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds correct, but I do think you have a point there, Freezy.
And I don't know, because like when I think about, like, you were talking about comics, and I'm not really a big comic guy. I'm more into like the manga and anime and shit. But like recently, I mean, if you would have brought this up, back in the early '90s, where all you saw was like very macho anime with like Dragon Ball Z and shit like that, I would be like, yeah, 1,000% agree with you. But as of late, and from what I've seen, just dealing in like all these websites, like especially DeviantArt, and that's by no means to like say the entire world, but I've found that a lot of the people I reach out to for certain artwork to get done for what I'm doing, they're usually female, but they'll have a male name. Why? I don't know. Why do I play as a female character when I play MMOs? I don't know.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of something I saw in the interview. When Harry Potter was first published, she was advised to go by J.K. instead of her actual name because people wouldn't read by.
Yeah, there's a bias in your mind by default.
I mean, some people's minds.
I think I don't know, because I agree and I also disagree. I don't know where I really stand on it, because in a sense, I would say, yeah, there is some bias in everybody's mind, but if something's good, it's good.
Right.
There's no two ways about it. And I can't, I don't know, in my brain, and I don't know, but like to that guy in that comment, I think women are an enigma to him and anyone that makes that type of a statement, because I prefer a strong female character over a male character, because most of the guys, most of the guys in our games and in our media are just like, dude, bro, what?
They're
like,
useless meatheads.
They're generic. I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason I roll Femship. So.
Yeah,
it's funny. Like the only game I don't play is the female character.
I think out of the entire generation of games we'd have before going into like this new generation, some of the strongest female characters we've had have played either the main role or supporting roles and have outshined their male counterparts. Like everybody who's played Mass Effects preferred Femshep over the male Shepard, because Femshep delivers her lines more impactfully.
No. Mass Effect is all about Tally. And the discussion is over.
No one cares about that backwards legged
She is the best character to ever be spawned from the internet.
Her ostrich leg self. I played all of Mass Effect 3, and I'm like, when am I gonna meet this chick everyone's so goo goo gaga over? And then she comes out, and I'm like, her legs are not even right.
You don't understand. You just don't understand.
Anyways,
you need to explain to me after the show what the hell I don't understand. Like, what advantage
She's
is
a good
that?
person.
Okay, but like you guys are talking that shit up like she's the next best thing since like I don't know, electricity, and it's like
take her over sliced bread, Breezy.
Like what?
But anyway, there have been a lot of kind of recently some more, like starting way back with Half-Life 2 and Alex.
Right.
Or what was the one game with it was on the Xbox. No, it was on the Xbox, and she would like grow stuff like plants and shit and fight people.
What?
Yeah, it was an Xbox game, or it might have been a 360 game. I can't remember.
Cameo?
That's not a good example if it is Cameo.
No, it's not.
Anyways,
but yeah, I mean, like,
good example.
Cameo.
Or like the most Tomb Raider.
I was gonna say Tomb Raider was incredible.
Tomb Raider, Heavenly Sword.
Or in like BioShock Infinite, you have Elizabeth secondary, or Last of Us, you have Ellie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and in comics, there's a growing with the characters are out there. Like I did a list of 10. I could have done 20. I mean the characters are there, but one problem is that they kind of don't tend to sell well because people don't tend to not give it a chance. Like a lot of these books get canceled and just because of low sales.
It's a circular problem because they have low sales because there's less female fans, and there's less female fans because there's nothing.
I have a serious question. I wonder, would it really be that much of a difference if we took a comic drawn, inked, written by a girl and put a male name on it? Like, would there really be that dramatic of a difference? And I don't think there would be, because I don't know, it's just this is the way my brain works, but like I feel like if something's not good, whether it's male or female, it's not fucking good.
Well, I mean that's how it should be, but I do think that some people are wired where say, oh hey, that was made by a woman, I'm not gonna give a shit,
Well, how much did J.K. Rowling suffer when she finally came out and said I'm a girl?
Well, by that time it was
series.
By that time the popularity was already there, though. It was already been established. The fan base was already there, so for the books.
Yeah.
I don't know, we need to do a census.
Sure, that is actually
Sure.
Make a comic series, like 12 issues,
well, there's
all printed by a guy, and put it
or
out
just,
at like Comic-Con or some shit, and see what the difference is. That's what we need to do.
I don't think it's the author so much as it's the story, the subject matter. You might be afraid, oh, this is for girls, I'm not going to be interested in it, but like some of the best stuff I've ever read has been written, by a woman.
Oh yeah, definitely. Both, prose and comics.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean,
like right now, I wrote a big long list. But as far as females writing females, over at DC, you have Gail Simone doing Batgirl, which has been fantastic and dark and just really over the top. Then at Marvel, you have Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, written by the awesome Kelly Sue DeConnick, who has just taken this character who's been around for a while but hasn't been really popular, and just done some really cool things with the character to elevate her to a whole new status. I mean, the writers and the characters are there. It's just kind of, I think they need a little support, from all fans, both, men and women fans all around, trying to get these characters, because, face it, we need diversity. I mean, especially in comics, we really need diversity. I mean, so much is the same. I'll admit it. I love comics. I love all the superhero stuff. But how many times are the X-Men going to fight Magneto?
Like every week.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
So diversity helps. It doesn't hurt. But like I said, in order to achieve this kind of diverse market, we need people to take a chance and try different books. To support some of these. Give it a shot.
Totally.
I mean, a comic is $3 to $4. By trying some of these, you're not.
That's all my money.
I mean, it's not a huge monetary investment for just to try something. Unlike trying a game, which could be running $50-$60 to try a new game.
Yeah, it is pretty cheap. I mean, it is. It's true. It's not expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I've been burnt out buying games before. God, I bought the new Turtles game for $20.
Oh, that's your fault. You have no one to blame but yourself.
I was going to a buddy's house at the time they came out, and there were no reviews for it, and we thought, hey, it could be a good co-op, And, it was awesome.
The best part about that game is when they just break out and start dancing.
That's the only good part about the game. But yeah, I just want to read this comment from Billy the Sage, as I'm calling him, and just kind of the naivety and ignorance in his comments. So,
yeah.
as far as, and just the language and the whole tone of language. Again, if you disagree, that's fine, but do it intelligently. Don't just fucking call me a mangina and start saying that women need to put on the big girl panties.
Yeah. It's like, do you even like women?
I mean, if you don't, that's fine, but
but that's like, can you be nicer?
Right. Like, if you don't like women, that's fine, but for this language, I'm not sure guys will go up with you either. So
I've given up on finding nice people on the internet.
Yeah, no. Good luck with that. Not gonna happen.
Right.
Not after people told us to go die in a fire.
Right. Because you forgot some things in your Elder Scrolls video.
Yeah, well, I think we're dying in said fire right now very slowly. Anyway.
Yes.
So let us know what you think about gender roles in society, how much you love women, or Tally. Specifically, let's talk about Tally in the comments.
Or Liara.
Yeah, she's an acceptable alternative. Not Ashley. Anyone with Ashley.
No.
That dumb bitch dies every time.
Is it sad that the humans are the most annoying characters in the game?
It is. It's very telling. Like, I'm sorry, you don't know how to write humans.
Apart from Chef. Apart from Chef. So.
Yeah, but he's
I
kind of
didn't like any of the female characters in Mass Effect.
All
now that
right,
I
we're
think
getting
about
off topic. Anyway,
I like
leave your
Joker's. I like
comments.
First humans. I like Joker. So
Yeah, Joker's good. Leave
that's
your
Seth
comments
Green
below.
becomes.
Shut up, Greg. Comments below. Oh, you can also email us at podcast@thegamefanatics.com. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. I'm on Twitter, TGF_KirbyLink. Greg is on Twitter.
The Indie Geek. And Billy, if you're listening, feel free to email me, Greg at the Game Fanatics. I'd
Please
be happy
don't.
to discuss with
No,
you.
don't. Shut up. And and Breezy doesn't want to be followed. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Tally's the best.
No.